Every month, a large chunk of our hard-earned money is snapped away by the South African Revenue Service, SARS. Who decides what our tax money is spent on? Well, the simple answer is you do, through the representatives you vote for. But you can't just WhatsApp SARS and demand your tax must be spent on new public netball courts in Oudtshoorn. During hard economic times and when it feels like everything is falling apart, where our taxes are being spent becomes a vital interest to everyone. First, let's understand how tax revenue or income is broken up. The National Assembly, just like any business, household or project, uses budgeting to decide what money goes where. So, the country's tax becomes the amount of money that the government has to spend on anything from education to health, infrastructure and defence. The budgeting processes are crucial for the effective allocation and management of public funds. When creating the budgets, the process has to be transparent, accountable and equitable. This means equal distribution of resources across various sectors and regions. These processes allow for public representatives, your public representatives that you voted in via a democratic voting process, to have their voice heard on how the money should be spent. Behind all allocation of funds is the primary legislation governing the budgeting process at the national level, the Money Bills Amendment Procedure and Related Matters Act. This act sets the framework for the preparation, consideration and adoption of the national budget. The last step in this process is auditing. The Act outlines the roles and responsibilities of the National Treasury, Parliament and other stakeholders involved in the budget process. The process begins with the Minister of Finance presenting the budget speech in Parliament, usually in February of each year. They provide an overview of the government's financial priorities and spending plans for the upcoming financial year. So say hospitals are failing. The budget speech will explain that the government wants to boost the building of more clinics in rural areas to ease the pressure on major city hospitals. With each budgeting proposal must come revenue projections, which means how much tax SARS thinks it will collect in the coming year. There's also expenditure allocations, and that is how much money each department will get to spend, and policy proposals.